Hello, a warm welcome to yet another interesting program, Matters Arising. Like you all know, it is a program where we discuss current political, social, just name it, whatever it is that affects us as a people. My name is Gospel Amalia Mayfobo. On today's episode, I'm being joined in the studio by very important personalities. We are talking about Sustainable Development Goal, SDG. And I have specialists, people, stakeholders that matters, that will help, dissect, tell us more about what is, because I know even you, some of you that are watching me, most of you does not know what SDG mean and what it stands for. I have with me in the building a special assistant to the governor of Delta State on Sustainable Development Goal, SDG. She is Diana. Her name's a very long one. Well, maybe she will help us so that I won't, you know what I mean? So that I will not, I will allow her to call the names fully for obvious reasons. If you know, you know. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gospel.
Thank you. But I didn't mention my other names.
Yes,
because
I will not mention it for obvious reasons.
This is for obvious reasons
Yes,
too. It's okay. You have other names, so maybe you help us so that we know.
My names are Lady Diana Ereyitomi Eyo Eno Ete.
Are you from Yoruba?
I'm Shekiri.
Huh?
Ishekiri.
Ishekiri.
Yes.
Okay, Ishekiri part of Delta State.
Yes.
It's okay. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you.
It's a pleasure being here.
Also, former this and former this, she's a woman of many parts. When it has to do with NGO, she's there. On this time around, you can see the uniform she's in. Augusta Impact is her name. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you once again. It's nice being here. My name is Augusta Impact Kenebo, the National Headquarter Commissioner Scout for Sustainable Development Goals, Nigeria.
Okay. Scout, we.
Wow.
We.
Wow.
We.
Wow.
It's all right. Yes, earlier today we discussed about, we had a program that has to do with Scout for SDG. In a nutshell, what was the program about? Augusta.
Okay. You know that when we talk about sustainable development goals, that people we call the critical stakeholders, those who is their responsibility, though is not enforced, but is a voluntary commitment by critical stakeholder. When we say critical stakeholder, we're talking about government, which is, we all know that they are the drivers of the sustainable development goals. We have the voluntary organization, which Scout is part of those voluntary organizations that makes a major, plays a very major role, even down to the level of United Nations, to ensure that, they play a critical role in implementation of the SDGs. So Scout is a voluntary organization. They are also having a component of what we call the Scout for SDGs, meaning that they are part and parcel of implementing the Sustainable Development Goal across the countries of the world where, we have members of countries that are part of United Nations. So is a program that children, from school age children and adults, because I am an adult scout. Adult scouts are part of to ensure that we help to, make the world a better place and ensure that we leave no one behind and support the government, most importantly, There are some areas that government cannot reach. There are some things that may not be easy or possible for them to do all. So Scout is found everywhere. Scout is in the schools, Scout is in the community, lives in the community. Scouts, work different phases of life. So that's what it's all about. We are here to, join force with the government and other critical stakeholders to implement the Sustainable Development Goal, especially here in Delta State and in Nigeria as a whole.
No, before now, when we were growing, when we were much younger, when you see Scout, it was just for you to make sure you flog people with koboko. When we were having the house sport, that's only when you see Scout. So you mean there are other things more that Scout can do apart from just to carry koboko and wiping us when we were younger.
There's more to Scout. In fact, anyone, the experience is quite interesting. There's no one that the memory when you remember Scout, you will not remember the olden days. You will not remember the value that is being instilled in children or when one is growing up. You won't forget the experiences. You won't forget the learning. You won't forget the challenges, especially when you go for camp. Camp meetings where you learn, how to face life skill, acquire life skills. So there's more to what Scouts, offer, especially in the, we'll call it the informal education setting. So those flogging and all that may just be disciplinary aspect, but we don't encourage that anymore. There are many ways to discipline a child or correct a child, to be able to align with what is obtainable, especially when they are still in their school age time.
It's all right. Thank you for giving us more enlightenment on the rules of Scout, because we know that they also help in maintaining law and order in some certain issues. Earlier today, you were how do you call it?
Investiture.
Yeah. You are this special assistant to the governor on SDGs, and I know that there are more than 17, goals and the rest of them. Is Delta State really implementing the SDG? Delta State, sure.
Thank you very much. It's 17 goals, 164 targets, 203 indicators. And the answer is yes. The fact that His Excellency has given me the privilege to sit in this position and talk about SDG is a clear indicator that Delta State really wants to be at the forefront of sustainable development goal. The M.O.R.E. agenda in itself starts with the M stands for meaningful development. As it is stated, SDG has development right in the center of it. Meaningful development is a development that can be sustained. It's not a development that is for the next 4 years or the next 8 years. It's a development that is owned by the people. It's a development that is, government given, community owned and community driven developments. And yes, so absolutely, the government is interested and they are playing their role in the contribution of achieving sustainable development globally.
So, Delta as a state is really implementing the SDG. So, what are you saying?
Yes, because the SDG is embedded in every ministry, department, and agency. So every time a ministry, department, and agency stands up and they are doing their work daily, then the state is doing that. And like I said, we are now going extra. The government and the governor has gone extra by saying it's not really about just the MDGs. We need to create an office. We need to create what you would call someone on the driving seat that reminds everyone and say, we need to do more. We need to connect the work you're doing with a specific goal or a specific target. And that is what we are here to do. That is our sermon, our major mandate. Not just in this office, but as the Directorate of Sustainable Development Goal in Delta State.
When you talk about SDG, how do you think the layman on the streets, do they really know what it's all about? The impact on the layman in the streets.
Right. I think that there is more to do when it comes to awareness creation for Sustainable Development Goal. And that's why in this administration, my office has commenced a project called SDG Community Waka. And that project is aimed at localizing the awareness about the subject. And it's so easy to localize it because SDG is your life. When you wake up in the morning and you put your feet on the ground, in fact, while you were sleeping, you are breathing in air. Now, the campaign about, reducing, gas flaring and all that is about climate action. That on its own is SDG. When you, like the commissioner said today in our event, when you are brushing your teeth and while you are, scrubbing, you leave the tap running, you're wasting water. You're contributing to the global issues around water usage and wastage. So every day when you get into your kitchen and you're cooking, your daily life, your every single movement, even the amount of times you honk your horn while driving and creating, some sort of noise pollution. You are one way or every movement of your life is impacting development on its own. And that's what we're trying to do with the SDGs. It's not just telling you there are 17 goals and giving you the title. It is letting you know that the 17 goals live with you every single day.
Does it have to do with the value reorientation, awareness on our day-to-day activities? How maybe you should tell us more, because we have so much. A lot of people will tell you that one of the cardinal, what I call the cardinal of the points is quality education, affordable education. If we decide to go towards that direction in Delta, are we having such things, quality and affordable? Available, access, let me use the word and accessible, quality and affordable education. Do we have it in Delta?
I would say that we have available education. Education is free, and that's a state policy. It's free education.
Absolutely free?
Well, absolutely free is there is no free food in Freetown, but yes, education is free. Um, Now everybody has to create, their own contributions to what, the education that they want to access. So I'll give you an example. In the riverine areas, we have situations where a school is another 15 kilometers from from a community, and that is the school that is serving like 4 or 5 communities around that area. We've had situation in our community Waka where kids will say, I go to school one week and I don't go to school the other week. Not because the education is not available and accessible, but there's a situation of poverty, there's a situation of the fact that they don't have the funds. As a state, that's why we say sustainable development goal it is state-driven community ownership. At that level, I mean, I've been in communities where I've said to them, people who grew up in the 60s and the 70s, we heard stories that, the community comes together and this is our first doctor, this is our first lawyer. That is where the community has to take ownership of what the government is giving you. It is one thing for me to put food in front of your table. It's you have to take the ownership of actually lifting the food and swallowing it. Or if I put it in your mouth, you have to take the ownership of actually swallowing it. So I think that communities, if they understand the value and the importance of SDG, they will know that as a community, there's a particular community that have challenged. Why can't you guys come together and have a pool fund or a cooperative funding where every parent in that community puts money into a basket that ensures that these kids now go to school every day that they are supposed to be in school as opposed to a on and off school system. So is our education quality. Every nation across the world has an opportunity to improve the quality of their education because the world it's global, it's a circle, it's moving. The need and the pattern of education. For the way I was educated as a child, it's not the way my kids are being educated now. They are not talking about Montessori schooling where a child should play and learn. Me, an 80s baby, I'm like, the only thing we need to learn is slap and learn. Whether you learn or you get slapped. But now, the world is talking about play learning, where your child is playing with this toy. That is when he's actually learning. So, is there room for improvement with the quality of education that we put out as a state and as a people? That will remain an ongoing process. Channeling our education and channeling the way that we teach our children based on the reality of the century and the decade that define themselves. And that is always going to be evolving. So
you are fully loaded. That means, governor did not make mistake, for appointing you as his special assistant. Now, talking about Waka, you made mention of
SDG Community Waka.
Community Waka. How has it been so far?
It's been very eye-opening. Because the community Waka focuses on underserved and less privileged people. So we focus on going to communities in the riverine areas. We focus on going to hard-to-reach communities.
I thought when you mentioned of Community Waka, you're supposed to enact PG based on the Waka.
Okay. So, Sandra, the community Waka. Now, Waka where they say we want rich people when they when normally they no go feel it. Not people wey dey for Asaba, wey dey for Solid Junction. And people wey dey for inside water. People wey dey say if rain fall for their community, most of them they see dry beach there. Those places now we want it. Why? Because we get governor wey dey say every Delta is a Delta. No be Delta wey dey inside Ugeli or Delta wey dey inside near government house, na be Delta. We wan reach every single Delta. And as we dey do the SDG community waka, when we tell you na everything wey dey about SDG, we go come comot there say na your hand e dey. But if we come talk, go how? The problem or the solution or the good thing wey we need, na your hand e dey to maintain am. So that community waka don open our eyes to a lot of things, even as people and as government, wey dey fit do better, education like we talk the way before. Getting dey as people and as government, we fit do the way the matter dey go for inside the riverine community. So yes, and then we don't even see say our riverine communities, even though they don't know the name of, they don't know the SDG name, but they understand the subject. They understand how to need to cut your trees because you are it's deforestation and it's part of the climate actions we are talking about. So they understand the subject. They not just know the Oyibo name where we call them. So plus the Oyibo name of the SDG and plus the story about the M.O.R.E. agenda. Now all we put together the book the SDG community.
Thank you. They try. You try well, because you don't show say you be Delta picking. Confirm, they carry us. On a final note, what do we do to ensure that this SDG will really, the purpose, the agenda, the goal is being achieved as a people, as an organization, as an individual? What do you think we do? What do we do?
My people, we don't turn pigeon, abi make we speak am, make we break am down. Okay, make I flow with my madam and my sister as im don talk say we dey do community SDG waka. The matter wey dey there be say everybody gets role when e suppose, everybody get wetin e suppose to dey do, to help us make this matter easy, make this matter work for everybody. Both you wey live inside community, both you wey be community leader, both you wey dey Asaba, both our people wey be say that they represent us as councillor, as chairman, as house of assembly, both those ones wey get opportunity wey be say governor give them position for different places, for different ministry, department and agency. Now wetin wey be say we go put our hand, because everybody gets wetin wey be say that they do. Like we dey talk and say SDG na wetin you dey do, na your daily life wey you dey live, na im be number one. Number two wey be say government already don make some plans of wetin they supposed to dey do. Then e get people wey dey call civil society organization. Na those people wey be say they go also dey contribute, dey monitor, dey watch to see whether wetin government say they dey do am. We wey be voluntary organization too, we dey put mouth for that matter too. Like this one wey we don start now, wey we dey call am scout for SDGs, wey we dey go round schools dey talk about SDGs to make sure say children even here know. Because the truth be say e dey pay me for heart. Then why I dey secondary school, I know say okay, then I be senior prefect, so I get opportunity to to dey go meetings, dey go program. But you notice say at the end of your 6 years in school, if you not even don go one competition or one program, you go just dey school go out, they expose, you don't know wetin dey happen, go visit another school, they not call you for activity. And now if they make some people, they go say, they call and say they timid. Now be say they talk to them, they go they cover their face, they go they shy. They're not sabi to even ask wetin be your name, you go just cover in face. You no go fit speak, you no go fit talk, you no go even fit interact. So now something wey be say we want do, make our people, our Delta children, get that opportunity to meet with other children around Delta, around Nigeria, and those wey even dey obodo oyibo or those wey dey overseas, make they be say that they interact. So that program dey very very good, because e not just end for Nigeria. Na program wey be say globally, children all over the world, dey part of that program. And I dey happy say I dey thank our madam wey dey here. Thank God say we be Delta, we dey proud say now we start am first, and na Delta is start, and me I from Delta too. So e good say as they don't give us position, we don't carry and reach house, and want make we start am from here, make we grow with am. So now wetin dey good, and I pray say if all of us understand say governments, or as my madam say, na our hand e dey. Na our hand true e dey. I know say some people don dey discouraged, some people don feel say they don work tire, nothing dey happen. E no dey good to dey talk the truth or to dey do better things anymore, because if whether you do am, you no do am, e no matter. But true, my brother and my sisters, e matter say we go dey still dey put in our best, because they say na small water, as the water dey fall na fall. Now you go come make am, you come become river. Small drop of water makes ocean. So we go still dey do wetin we fit do, make we no give up.
All right, time will not permit us to continue. Maybe we're going to have this topic in our next episode, God willing. By the grace of God, earlier today we discussed, or we had the launch of Scouts for Sustainable Development Goal. It was launched, the first of its kind in Nigeria. You know where it was launched? Here in Asaba at West End Miss Secondary School, meaning that history was made today. And some of the stakeholders who were instrumental to that history being made, or that was made today, are the people I have in the studio. One of them has been Diana Eyo Enoete. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for having me.
I hope when next I call or I reach out, you will oblige me.
Absolutely. Everything I'm always here.
Based on community waka.
Yes, sir.
It's okay. And also Augusta Impact. She has other names, so Kenebe, National Headquarters Commissioner on Scouts. They have been my guests in the building. I want to say thank you for coming. Well, if you did enjoy this week's episode of Matters Arising, we have to switch language so that we're able to deliver based on the topic when we get for hand, community waka. As SDG, more SDG for more, or more for SDG?
More through SDG.
Okay, more through SDG. Thank you for your time. And to meet again, same time, same platform. My name is Gospel Amalia Mefom, saying bye for now.